Well, I'm sure you've had such a busy day, but good evening. Welcome to Joy News at 8 with me, Gifty Ando Apia, where we bring you comprehensive and authentic news. In the headlines today, 38-year-old Lamo Kwashimate of Mana Farms Limited Accra is Ghana's best farmer for 2012. Government business virtually shut down after 2 days of civil and local government staff strike. Leadership of Clocksack vowed the strike will continue until their demands are addressed. After the Kayane Hostel saga, NDC and NPP now lock horns over energy generation figures. And in showbiz, it turns political today as musician Kwabena reaffirms unflinching support for the NPP's candidate Nana Akufo-Addo. On the international scene, with 5 days from the U.S. election, President Barack Obama and his Republican challenger Mitt Romney fight to claim the mantle of change. So those are the headlines, these and many others coming up in the next 1 hour. Let's take a look now at the stories in details.
Your election headquarters on TV, radio, and online. Election headquarters, supported by Star Ghana and Infobox.
Welcome to the details. Now, today is Farmers' Day, and we'll bring you how the farmers have been celebrating their day today. Before that, though, government's business has virtually come to a standstill 2 days into the ongoing strike action by the Civil and Local Government Staff Association, Clocksack. Several offices at the ministries were under lock and key, and workers were not at post to attend to clients there. Leadership of Clocksack has meanwhile reiterated that the strike will continue unabated until their demands are met by government.
It is Friday, and the usual busy atmosphere at the ministries is lost. Scores of people who normally troop into the ministries to transact one business or another were absent. Our cameras captured a rather deserted area at the ministries as few people were seen patrolling the area. Our inquiries later revealed the ongoing strike was the reason for this trend. A stroll through some offices revealed most doors were under lock and key. Very few civil servants were at post and have vowed not to return until government addresses the abnormality in their single-spine pay policy. For 2 days now, civil servants have laid down their tools to protest over what they described as unfair treatment by government in failure to increase their market premium as top-up to their salaries.
We have a document here, and even the Minister for Employment and Social Welfare, the then Minister, Mr. Honorable E.T. Mensah, gave the specific directives to Fair Wages and Salaries Commission to work on scenarios for payment of premium to members of the civil and local government services. And even what confirms it was when Greater Accra as a region pronounced a strike action on 7th September 2012 this year. On that same day, the two ministers, Employment and Social Welfare and then Finance, gathered as the region and then the national executives, and an interministerial committee was set up to see into the payment of premium for civil servants. So it is something they are aware that we really deserve it.
But officials at the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, the government agency responsible for placing civil servants on the single-spine salary structure, say Clocksack has no case.
They're asking for market premium. And we've explained over and over that currently the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission is not implementing market premium. Because the government white paper on the market premium stated that guidelines would have to be developed, out of which the formula for grant of market premium will be known. This guideline has not been developed. In fact, we finished it. It's yet to be gazetted and brought onto board. So we are not implementing market premium. So it looks like their demand is a bit ahead of time. You know, when the guideline comes, particular skills in the CLOSAG which are eligible for market premium will be paid market premium if eligible.
According to Cornelius Yamson, the Director of Complaints and Negotiations at the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, the matter was on top of the agenda of the Commission and would be resolved soon. Meanwhile, at the time of filing this report, the leadership of CLOSAG and government were locked up in a closed-door meeting to resolve the ensuing impasse. Joy News will keep you posted on this developing story.
Turnout on the first day of reopening of Asomdwee Park was nothing compared to when it was first opened to the public after the late president's burial. The Asomdwee Park was closed to the public for over 3 months to allow construction and redesigning of the park. Joy News visited the park earlier today to observe how things were going.
With the exception of military officers who were guarding the place, a choir that had set up, and of course the geese, the Asomdwee Park was virtually empty when Joy News paid a visit earlier today. No activity was going on apart from these construction workers who were busy at work. Interactions with some photographers revealed a few people had visited the park in the morning. However, the photographers who were hoping to cash in on the occasion were left disappointed.
The news that we heard, that we thought that at least they are able to make, a very beautiful environment for us. But when he came, I can even say that the time that he was buried, the decoration and the design here was even far better than as we are seeing now.
The way I about business in the Kakrebi to me try a bit, and yet to say, first night.
The African youth choir that had traveled all the way from Winneba to thrill tourists with some tunes was not perturbed about the low turnout. The choir told Joy News they had been singing all morning, whether or not there were people around.
The purpose is to sing, for the virtual audience. As we are singing, people will come in and out of the place. So we have to keep on singing. That is it. It's not about meeting, let's say a crowd where you can sing just to please them. We are here to sing. And whether we have what we call virtual audience. So whether there are people or not, ours is to sing.
I managed to get them to sing Methodist hymn number 511, Be Gone and Believe. Apparently, the late president's favorite hymn. Today not being a holiday perhaps contributed to the low start of Asomdwee Park sightseeing. Hopefully, the weekend should record some successes.
So we're moving away from the Asomdwee Park, which reminds us of the sad demise of former President Mills. Moving on, away from Accra, Nyabi village in the Chumangwabieja North constituency of the Ashanti region, which is just about 20 houses in total, is currently in deep crisis. Floods resulting from rains or the overflow of Owabi Dam continue to pull down houses, destroying farmlands and produce. Residents say they will have to be relocated to a nearby town to save their lives.
Years ago, the catchment area of this dam, the Owabi Dam, was occupied by a group of persons who were evacuated due to continuous flooding following the construction of the dam, which currently supplies water to some parts of the Kumasi metropolis. They relocated to Nyabi after a persistent search for a suitable resettlement area. But now, the residents say it is no different from the previous land. People of Nyabi complain that continued flooding pulls down their homes and destroys their farms, especially when the dam breaks. Surprisingly, this village has only 20 houses. Some have already collapsed, while others are in serious condition, meaning they could collapse anytime soon. Residents say anytime they see signs of rain, they move to a nearby town to save their lives. They are now asking for relocation. Assembly member for the area, Asomdwee Park, says the district assembly has provided 1,000 bags of cement and 40 packets of roofing sheets, but there is no land to begin construction of houses. He appeals to the government and Asantehene Otumfuo Osei II to intervene.
I am appealing to the government to see this town. This town is Owabi. If there is a rain, the citizens of this town is suffering too much because then government since 1928, then government of Ghana took our elders and the chiefs' land from Owabi Dam, then moved to this place. Because of the dam, all the citizens of this place is suffering. So I am appealing to the government and the Otumfuo and the NGOs to come to this place to help the citizens of this town.
Augustina Atto is a senior high school student in the area. She wants government's intervention.
Sometimes when it rains, it's dangerous for us. Sometimes when it rains, when it flooding comes, we move from this town to another town. I'm a student too. When it flooding comes, we can't go to school actually. So we're pleading the government to help us in this town.
Other residents also spoke to Joy News. The chief of the area, Otumfuo Apentehene Nana Osuansa II, also spoke to Joy News.
Say aban nsuo no mbue pipe no dam no yebue na se nsuo titiru se nsuo to na se basade a ene kuro ni nyina na nsuo na fa kuro ni nyina nti balance a ene eti kuro mu ho no yese ni nyina edwane yakotena pepo bi wo ho ene da abanfo pepo so yakotena ho a eme nsuo no twe asana yasan ba betena ba beda na abira hosem wo mu ne se balance is one na ke se eden World
Health Organization country representative Dr. Idrisu Sosa has challenged public health physicians to promote highest attainable standards in healthcare through sustained advocacy and influence health policies.
With a startup membership of 94 across the country, Public Health Physicians Association is serious about getting fully involved in health policy making through vigorous advocacy. World Health Organization country representative Dr. Idrisu Sosa encouraged the group to be determined in influencing health policies as communicable diseases such as cholera are increasing mortality rates in the country.
There is a growing recognition by policymakers that improved health is a prerequisite to sustainable development. Therefore, physicians, Public Health Association have an important role to play on sustained advocacy, influencing political decisions, particularly if it comes to resource allocations for health.
Public health physicians are not happy with the fact that they have been relegated to the background where health issues are concerned, even though they deal directly with communities and disease outbreaks. They feel their importance has been greatly underplayed.
All through the history of health, physicians, but for that matter, public health physicians have taken the lead role. And when you don't have young ones come in, really, then the public health physicians have become an endangered species. So at least those of us in the system, we need to come together, act as a think tank, think through how best can we influence policy.
The Public Health Physicians Association has been formed with the aim of whipping up interest, which they say has dwindled in the sector among medical practitioners as well as students. The chairman of the association told Joy News many people in various communities are in danger because of the manner in which they handle food and water.
Policies and decisions that have been made in the recent past are not right. They don't involve the public health physician. We have a public health bill, law, which has been passed. How many district directors of a medical officer made inputs into that law?
The association is calling for a lasting solution to the sanitation problem facing the country.
Added only 80 megawatts of power to the national grid. The minister added that the installed capacity as of the end of the NPP reign was 1,810. and not 2,400 megawatts, as claimed by the NPP flag bearer Nana Akufo-Addo. Deputy Minister for Energy Alhaji Inusa Hussaini made these assertions at a press conference on the true state of development in the power sector.
The Deputy Minister for Energy, Alhaji Inusa Hussaini, on behalf of the Minister for Energy, Joe Otinyeje, delivered a statement of what he titled The True State of Development in the Power Sector. He stated that government has completed projects while others are ongoing towards stabilizing power supply in the country.
Government, in collaboration with VRA and the Energy Commission, is considering the construction of a liquefied natural gas terminal to allow the importation of LNG to Ghana. This will guarantee a more secured power supply to the people of Ghana. The total installed generation capacity in the country when the NDC took the reins of government in January 2009 was 1,810 megawatts. In addition, the NDC government will bring on stream another 1,052 megawatts within the next 12 to 24 months.
He added that while waiting for WAPCO to complete repair works on the gas pipelines, it is working with other stakeholders to complete ongoing generation addition projects. He explained that an encounter between a Togolese navy and a third-party pirate vessel, which tried to hijack an oil tanker, led to cut of supply of gas to Ghana.
Côte d'Ivoire has been supporting Ghana with between 30 to 50 megawatts of power. In spite of this support, there has been a power supply deficit of about 300 megawatts at peak time. That is from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. and about 100 megawatts during the day. That is off-peak. Friends of the media, the demand for electricity must be satisfied by the electric generating system, and the transmission and distribution facilities must possess the ability to carry the generated energy to the consumer. Load shedding is usually and must truly be a measure of last resort.
On the status of the gas pipeline repairs, Alhaji Inusa Hussaini said a fully equipped vessel was working towards addressing all faults on the gas pipeline before an unfortunate incident on October 31.
I am glad to report that the steam turbine unit for Takoradi, that is the Takoradi 1 thermal plant, which has been down since 2010, has now been restored and will increase the available capacity by 110 megawatts. Furthermore, Senate, that is CENIT, Senate project, has been commissioned and available to provide 126 megawatts to the system. Finally, the 2 gas turbines for Takoradi 3 thermal project have been commissioned and ready to deliver 72 megawatts.
He revealed government's intention to exploit and use natural gas from the Jubilee fields for power generation, adding that work is far advanced on the gas processing plant at Tiobo.
This will reduce our reliance on Nigeria for natural gas to fire our power plants. Additionally, government, in collaboration with VRA and the Energy Commission, is considering the construction of a liquefied natural gas terminal to allow the importation of LNG to Ghana. This will guarantee a more secured power supply to the people of Ghana.
The Deputy Minister then took a swipe at the opposition NPP, stating emphatically that the NPP did not add a single megawatt to the electric capacity from 2001 to 2006.
No provision had ever been made in the NPP government's budget statement from 2001 to 2006 for electric power generation expansion. This is to be noted. MPP never added a single megawatt to the electric capacity of our power system. Indeed, it was in 2007 that the Mines Reserve plant, with an installed capacity of 80 megawatts, was added to the national grid through a consortium of mining companies in Ghana.
He concluded that the NPP, throughout its 8-year term in office, added only 80 megawatts of power to the national grid.
Well, so I've been joined on the line now by NPP's Kwabena Sapong. He speaks on energy issues. I would like to find out from him. Hello, Mr. Sapong. Good evening.
Good evening, madam.
Many thanks for joining us on Joy News at 8. Now tell us if you've heard what the allegations that the deputy minister is making against your party. He says that for the 8 years that you were in office, you added only 80 megawatts of energy to the national grid.
I have already met this minister on 2 occasions, and I'm surprised that he's lying to a national audience. In the first place, if we did not add a single megawatt, how could we solve the power problem of 207? So to answer your question, Nana Akufo-Addo did not lie or did not make a mistake when he said that we left about 2,400 megawatts. You see, INUSA must understand the difference between installed capacity, okay, and the plant that is generating. When you came, we had about 2,400 of megawatts installed. The fact that they have been installed does not mean it is generating power. So that's what we have to understand. Okay, they took not installed. We did not install all of them. The total that what we added G1 at Chema, which is about 120. When they came, we had installed that plant. It had been connected to the national grid, and it was producing power. It had been tested. We had G2 at Chema, which was 50 megawatts. That has also been installed, connected to the national grid, and had been tested. We had Asomdwee 200 megawatts. That was built by Togo Afede and his group. That has also been tested, and that has been connected to, not tested, that has been installed and connected to the national grid. It has not yet been fired because that one required gas, which had to come from the West African gas pipeline. And because the West African gas pipeline was built only for VRA, we had to make a special arrangement for VRA to deliver power to Asomdwee. And we could not complete this arrangement before we lost power. So when NDC came, they completed that arrangement and managed to get VRA to give power to Asomdwee. So what Enisa is telling me is that if I buy a car and you come in there, you put petrol into the car to start it and keep it running, means you bought the car.
So Mr. Sapong, what you're saying is that you installed those megawatts. And
yes, we did.
And you lost power, and so the NDC came to just make it work.
That's right. They arranged for VRA to give them power to there. And then we did again we brought in emergency power, total 176. 126 of that emergency power, they are mobile plants. They are in Ghana. Okay, they were brought as part of the emergency plan, and they can be used anytime. We have even deploy some of these emergency plants to Togo and Benin before.
Okay,
After we solved our problem, we deployed some of them to Togo and Benin. They are back in Ghana.
So
this
Mr. Sapong,
total 126 megawatts is in Ghana.
Right. So Mr. Sapong, you're saying that indeed your party installed 2,400 megawatts, if I have
not we installed. No. MPP did not install. But what I'm saying that the power plant that we left them installed was 2,400. Now, when, for instance, Asomdwee Park was installed, but it was not in operation. The fact that it is not in operation does not mean it is not installed. It is installed, but to operate and get power from Asomdwee Park, you need to do more work.
Okay.
So when I'm actually talking of power that I'm being generating, I'll say I have 24. I've got 3,400, but I cannot add Asomdwee Park to it as a generating capacity. I will not. It can generate. But I will need some more work to be done on the Asomdwee Park.
Okay, so the NDC continues to argue that your party did not have any energy development policy or any policy to develop the energy sector in Ghana. We had policy. When they came, could you sum up your policy for us? The policy that you had.
When we came, we left them with 976 megawatts of plant in the system. We have also put in place. A system to generate hydro power for Lugu and Juale. We are going to secure a $500 million loan from the Brazilians. $250 million of that loan was ready to be used to develop the Juale power hydro plant. They took that money to the eastern corridor. It's now that they are saying that they are going to do hydro plant at Juale.
Okay, Mr. Sapo, I'm sorry to cut you in there. I'm sorry, we really don't have much time, but I'm sorry to cut you in there. But what I want to find out is, don't you think that we're playing political football with an issue as important as energy, issues that concern a lot of people?
All that they have to do is to tell the Ghanaians the truth. That when we came, this is what MPP has done. And we took it up. And when they came, we had 220 megawatts of thermal plant that was being installed. If they have not stopped that plant, you and I will not, installation of that plant, you and I will not be sleeping in darkness today. When I asked Alaji Inusa why they stopped installing that plant, you know what he told me? He said that we did not leave the money for the installation.
Business has, however, learned that the facility is likely to be closed down again for refurbishment, which will include the expansion of the terminal as well as resurfacing and extension of the runway. The work is estimated to cost some 58 million cedis. Speaking in an interview with Joy Business, Chief Executive of Stabo, Bill Frayson, said they welcome every effort to upgrade the airport. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kwabena Sapong. We will surely follow up. Join us to surely follow up now. 38-year-old Lamo Kwashimate has been adjudged the national best farmer for 2012. The owner of Mana Farms in the Dangme West District and a BA in Human Resource Management holder is urging Ghanaian youth to venture into what he describes as a lucrative agriculture business. Addressing the 28th National Best Farmer Award ceremony, President John Dramani Mahama said government is working to ensure food security by encouraging a shift from subsistence farming to one which is targeted at a global market.
Please stop here for the moment.
I took over farming as a business 10 years now. I'm into cattle rearing, rice production, okra, onion, pepper, a lot.
50 farmers received awards in the monocrop award category, as well as 10 agricultural extension officers. The best national livestock farmer went to father of 27 Kwabena Obo. In the Best Farmer Award category, second runner-up went to 28-year-old Elenatia from the Talensi Nabdam district. The first runner-up was Enoch Tay of Star Farms in the Greater Accra region. National Best Farmer Lamo Kwashi receives a 3-bedroom fully furnished house to be built at a place of his choice, a double cabin pickup, a generator set and other farm implements. Agricultural Minister Kwesi Ahoy said his outfit is promoting aquaculture and making farming machinery available in centers in each district of the country. He said it is part of government efforts towards achieving food security. President Mahama expressed confidence in the Ghanaian farmer to continue producing enough food to sustain the country and secure its future as a response to government stimuli.
Our nation, Ghana, has been spared the scourge of food insecurity and has come out unscathed as our industrious farmers turned out 25 million metric tons of roots, tubers, and plantains, and 2.6 million metric tons of cereals to sustain our country last year. Our cocoa farmers, as usual, provided an estimated foreign exchange cover of about $2.03 billion from bean export earnings in 2011. Efforts by government to increase cocoa output to 1 million metric tons was realized in 2011 with an output of 1,024,000 metric tons. This represents an increase of 28.1% from the previous season's output. The achievement demonstrates the strategies of disease and pest control programs, the use of fertilizers, and the increase of producer price of cocoa by government are yielding positive results.
This year's Farmers' Day ceremony attracted people from all walks of life, as well as ministers and deputy ministers. The celebration is focused on growing more food through strengthening of farmer-based organizations. Striking miners at two South African Anglo-Gold Ashanti pits have agreed to return to work as tensions across the country's mineral sector ease. Hundreds of miners have been holding underground sit-ins this week at the Anglo-Gold Ashanti site at Tautona and Mponeng, 40 miles west of Johannesburg. Now the story is the U.S. economy added 171,000 new jobs in October, which was much more than had been expected. But the official figures from the Labor Department showed that the unemployment rate still rose to 7.9%, having fallen to 7.8% in September. As more workers resume the search for jobs, only people who are currently looking for a job count as unemployed. So that's it for business reports. Coming up, smart investment tips.
60,000 added in August.
My name is Rashidat Kadiri. Good evening, and I have the latest in the world of sports. Now, it's only 5 matches into the Globe Premier League, and already there's been a coaching casualty. And of course, it's Siki Akono for Hartlepool. Hartlepool have been in talks with some other coaches, including J.E. Sapon, Maxwell Kunedu, and of course, former Ashgold coach David Duncan, to be possible replacements for Siki Akono. And yesterday, Joy Sports went over to Siki Akono's Shasako Valley apartment to have a word with him, and he told us that he has taken his dismissal in good faith.
I've worked with interesting people that you thought you could trust, but you couldn't trust them. And so, but it's a good lesson. I mean, I vow not to say anything to any club or anybody I worked for. He once gave me monthly salary, and therefore it will make sense to say anything bad about it. And I respect the club; it's a traditional club, and I did this job with a lot of passion, the love I had for the club, and so I'm no more there. I have accepted that in good faith. It comes with the job, you know. I mean, a month back there was somebody there, and then I went. So you know, it's not mine.
All right, so that's it for Coach Siki Akono, who says he is taking his dismissal in good faith. Now, Hearts of Oak, who have sacked their head coach and will be going into Sunday's game against RTU with Benjamin Achampon. Benjamin Eje, actually, he happens to be the interim coach for Hearts of Oak as they go into their match against RTU on Sunday. Tema Youth are up against Brekum Chelsea at the Tema Stadium. New Edibiasi FC are up against Wa All Stars. Hearts of Lions versus Ashko. The Diana Stars will take on Amidas Professionals. Arsenal's up against Liberty Professionals. Mediama SC up against Kotoko. That's certainly the big game for the weekend. And of course, King Faisal will host Ebusua Dwarfs at the Kumasi Babera Sports Stadium. So that's it for the Globe Premier League. There'll be other fixtures in the English Premier League, and of course tomorrow at exactly 2 p.m. the game between Tottenham Hotspur and Wigan Athletic at the White Hart Lane in England will be live on Joy Sports. And so stay tuned to Joy Sports tomorrow at 2 p.m. for that game between Tottenham Hotspur and Wigan Athletic from the White Hart Lane. Panel discussions will begin at 1:30 and then game kicks off at exactly 2 p.m. All right, so away from that, let's see what's happening in boxing. And Joseph Agbeko, former IBF bantamweight champion, he says he wants a round 3 with Mexican Abner Mares. Remember that Joseph Agbeko had already lost twice to Abner Mares, and he says he's looking for a third-time appearance against that Mexican and wishes to probably defeat him this time. Plus, he's embarking on a peace campaign ahead of the December 7 polls.
My target is still on Abner Mares, who I see as the best at the super bantamweight. I think he's fought, best fighters to get to put himself at the top. I've not seen Nonito Done fighting crack boxers like the ones, like boxers that Mares has faced in his previous fights, and Rigendorf is there, and but everybody wants to fight None for now because he's been rated as the best, the #1 at the division right now.
Right, so King Kong Agbeko will be in action this month, and you have to stay tuned to Joy Sports and Joy News, of course. We'll bring you details of his bout in November. It's on 10th of November.